Yo, what is good? It is your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment for Coaching. My links are down below. Spiritual readings down below. Timeline surfing, healing, and activation down below. I have a lot of services down below, and I have that Discord down below. It's lit over there. Got the Patreon down below. It's lit over there too. Let's get into this video, bro. So this is called Genie Talks Time Edition. You know because I don't know how many time videos I'm gonna actually make. I just thought it was a cool title for this one. And I've been like you guys know I'm really into time, but I've been learning way more about time and like the whole entire Omniverse, right? Like the word omni means all, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the Omniverse is pretty much the sum total of all the verses, which could be called arc verses or harmonic universes. So with that being said, I've been learning about the structure of the Omniverse, which I'll make different videos on and PowerPoints and all this other shit. Some shit will be YouTube, some shit will be Patreon exclusive. You know how that get. But one thing that everybody's gonna see, YouTube and Patreon, is that I astro traveled to the end of time and I learned a few things. You know what I'm saying? It even relates to the emerald tablets and then other crystal tablets. It's not just emerald. I'm learning a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but there's this one shit that's gonna be Patreon exclusive, like with these frogs who tried to fucking destroy time, bro. That shit, bro. All this shit was wild as fuck. So let me explain a little bit about the Omniverse, right? So the Omniverse is composed of the universe, the multiverse, the metaverse, the megaverse, and the superverse, right? You know what I'm saying? All those make up the Omniverse, right? Now some niggas, let me pull up a picture. Hold up. Let me pull up a picture real quick. Alright, normally I'd have it on the screen, but I'm not using OBS, so I can't do that with this software. But look, you see this picture? So when it says like kiloverse, megaverse, gigaverse, those are whole different things. But over here, right? They talk about y'all can't really even see it. Oh, you could kind of see it, right? They say universe, multiverse, metaverse, xenoverse, hyperverse. Those are all part of the omniverse, right? So instead of me saying xenoverse and hyperverse, I've been using mega and super. So for me it's uni, multi, meta, mega, super. Not uni, multi, meta, xeno, hyper. Like nah. My spirit guys was like mega and super. I'm like word. I like that shit better too. So with that being said, I'ma just explain a small part of that. So inside the metaverse, right? You had beings there who decided that they need a perfect universe to mesh all the different realms and stuff like that into one. So with that being said, they made the universe, right? Now, while making the universe, right, there was many different plans for the universe. Oh, Sally could do this or that, Jimmy could do this or that. All these different plans to make the one universe is what makes the multiverse with all the different possibilities for this universe. And that's why even inside this picture, right? Like I don't know if they explained this wherever this picture came from. I don't know if they explain what I'm about to say, but you see how it was universe and multi at the top and then it splits? You know what I'm saying? That's because the multiverse is heavily linked with the universe and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like all those multiple realities are just different planes that could have happened inside the universe. And we experience the multiverse via our thoughts when we consider possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start considering possibility, that is when you start experiencing the multiverse way more. Like an animal, right? They can't perceive multiple possibilities. They just are living their life on this one timeline. They can't consider other timelines. You can. And you could visit them also with astral travel and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you actually live in the multiverse right now. You live in all the verses right now. Like the universe kind of like in all these different verses, different groups of consciousness have evolved, and all those groups came together to make the universe where they could all live out their like individual experiences together. So for example, on one level, right, you had reptilian consciousness, right, that evolved, right? But reptiles actually split off into mammals and birds and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had places that like are only reptiles, only mammals, only birds, but they could all come together inside the universe. You know what I'm saying? That was the big plan that was decided. That was designed inside the metaverse, which they started making all these different plans, which made the multiverse, and then all those plans came into one, which is the universe. So with that being said, right? A couple things I want to talk about, right? One, what even is time? Time is the passing of events within space, you know? And when it comes to time, there's like cool things like timeline warfare. I talked about that inside of a recent Genie talk, timeline warfare, right? And one way that people try to do timeline warfare on you is by making you live out possibilities that are not aligned with your true soul and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And the way they do it, right, is by bringing your awareness to the possibility. Because let me say this too, right? With quantum physics, right? When me and my boy learned this shit, we was going wild, bro. Because he sent me a video, right? Of this quantum physicist talking about like how they discovered that like there's multiple worlds but they're not all created equal type shit. And then there was this one time when this one lady did some time traveling shit. You know what I'm saying? And we was wondering how the fuck she did it, but part of the way to understand it, I had to use the whole multiple worlds thing, right? So that shit has actually been explaining a lot of stuff for me, right? The fact that with the multiverse, right, there's all these different possibilities, but they're not all created equal. The one that the reality that manifests is the one that has the most awareness. And let me tell you something right now. The one that has the most awareness is the one that you could just say the godheads and the overseers. The one it's the timeline that they wrote out. So like I said, they wrote out hella different possibilities, right? But eventually one got decided on, which is what manifests the universe, right? That one main timeline holds the most awareness, but other timelines can hold awareness also. And if beings make you look at those timelines to bring the awareness to those timelines, those could manifest more likely than the positive timeline or whatever the fuck. You see what I'm saying? So beings do try to do that shit, you know? And it's like even their shit's already kind of accounted for. Like, here's the thing, right? Let's say that these beings do succeed and make you live out a bad timeline. It's like that negative timeline was already there, and the positive one is still there too. You're just not experiencing it, but a different part of you still is. So it's like they kind of got you, but they didn't because regardless of which one you're seeing currently right now, they both exist anyway. And at some point, if the one where the bad thing happens to you, if that reality is not supposed to exist, it's gonna join back inside the good one anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because of how the plans are written. It's like the Godheads like we're kind of saying, oh, at some point he gonna get fucked up, but it's gonna link back into the good shit because of X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that deals with some of these time fuck ups, right? Because when it comes to like time, like when I say a time fuck up, I mean like like if you start manipulating time and messing with time, what are some things that could happen where it's like, damn, I kind of fucked up, right? One thing that everyone kind of always talks about is paradoxes, which that is a big threat, but the multiverse actually makes up for paradoxes, but there can be a point where if you create so many paradoxes, shit will just fucking like get destroyed. They showed it in a TV show called 12 Monkeys, but I also learned it from those frog beings, you know what I'm saying, who tried to fucking destroy time. And that's why like there's a you can look this up, a void spot in Iridanus, right? They're like, is this just a cold spot or is this caused by a multiverse collision? It's because of the frog bigs. I'm gonna talk about this shit on my Patreon for a fact. You know what I'm saying? About these frog beings who tried to fucking destroy time. But it's like essentially in that space, right? They created paradoxes on a quantum level and were making different realities interact with each other, which caused that void in time. And it's funny because I was being taught this shit, and then literally today, right, when I plan on making this video, I'm watching this show called Fringe, and inside the episode, the guy was literally explaining how when different worlds collide, it creates these different cracks in space-time, which eventually leads to a fucking vortex that makes a fucking void where nothing manifests that. You know what I'm saying? So By going to Paradox Palace and by seeing the whole frog being shit, I learned a lot about paradoxes and how that works with time and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? So for the Paradox Palace shit and the frog shit, that is gonna be Patreon shit only. But I still will tell YouTube about how I saw the end of time and what the fuck that was like and what the fuck I learned from that shit. You know what I'm saying? But with the paradoxes, right? A paradox is something that happens that doesn't make sense. So, for an example, right? Let's say that you're chilling one day, right? And then your 6-year-old self came to you and said, "Yo, what's good?" That would be a paradox. Want to know why? Because you literally have no memory of you doing that at 6. Like if a 6-year-old version of yourself came to you right now and said, "Hey, yo, nigga, what's good?" You know what I'm saying? That would be a paradox because at 6 years old, do you remember time traveling to say "yo, what's good" to yourself? You see what I'm saying? So it's like that doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Also, shit like let's say that right now you time traveled, right? And then you stopped your grandfather from having your dad. That shit wouldn't make any sense because if your grandfather didn't have your dad, you couldn't be born. You know what I'm saying? If you were never born, you could have never stopped your dad from having you because you could never time travel to stop that shit. You see what I'm saying? Paradox. You know what I'm saying? So all these different things actually kind of like just thinking about it can make your fucking head hurt. And that little head hurt sensation, that's literally you seeing reality break and stuff like that, right? Now things like that start to make sense when you consider the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Because like for example, like actually let me say this one, right? Like when it comes to your 6-year-old self popping up and saying "yo, what's good," one thing that helps to correct that is through your memory. It's like when that happens, you'll just randomly have a memory of yourself being 6 years old type shit. Like that's one thing that happens, but that can't happen for the whole you go back in time to stop your dad from being born and stuff like that. Like it's not just gonna become a fucking memory thing. That no, with that like that one has to rely on the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially what happened was right it would have been a different like pretty much when paradoxes get created they actually make new timeline branches, you know what I'm saying, to account for it. So instead of it being you from this timeline going back to stop your dad and stuff like that, it will be you in a different timeline in a parallel universe going to stop your dad from being born inside this universe, you know what I'm saying. So that might have been a little bit like huh, but if you was following, that shit would have made sense. And on top of that, if you want to learn more, that Paradox Palace shit had taught me a lot. So I'll be able to, I'll explain more there. But that's the basic concept. Like when niggas do shit where it's like that wouldn't make sense if there was one timeline. The timelines actually branch off. You know what I'm saying? But that leads to actually some real lifetime fuck ups because number one, right? You have not being able to return to certain realities and timelines, right? Like if you right now time travel, like if you either speed up time for your life right now or slow it down, or you travel to a different timeline, you could never come back to the reality where you didn't time travel. Now here's what I mean, right? Let's say you live inside of timeline A, right? And you travel to timeline B. You could never go back to timeline A. You're just going to come back to a timeline C, which will look like timeline A, but it's different. Here's why I'm saying that. Inside timeline A, right? Timeline A is only timeline A when you don't time travel. You know what I'm saying? Because you time traveled, though, you made a whole new reality where inside this one timeline, you time traveled. Because timeline A truly is a timeline where you don't time travel. You know what I'm saying? So when you actually do go to time travel, you make a whole new timeline. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually timeline C, which could look like timeline A, but inside timeline C, you have the knowledge and the ability to time travel, which timeline A didn't really have. Like timeline A was not based upon you time traveling type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that because like when you start doing time shit, you could never go back to the old reality. You know what I'm saying? Even if you wipe your mind, because understand that in timeline A, if you never time traveled, you wouldn't have to wipe your mind to forget about time traveling. You see what I'm saying? So, and that could show you right there how many times you probably shifted already, never really realized that, and how many times you really cannot go back to right now. But that's the thing, like if you want to, like if you go to see the future inside timeline A, what you're really doing is you're really going to like an alternate timeline. You know what I'm saying? When you see the future of timeline A. Because in the true timeline A, like I said, you never actually even time travel to even have to see the future type shit. It just played out different. So it's like when you do these small, like every single small choice you make makes a different timeline branch essentially, right? And the way that reflects is that inside the higher realms, different choices are written out for you to make type shit. And the thing is, it's not even like it's like higher beings separate from you who do these things. No, it's actually you who tends to be grouped. Like it's like you as a consciousness that's also mixed with other consciousnesses who plan out how these gonna manifest themselves inside of one universe. You know what I'm saying? And they decided for many different possibilities, many different choices, all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's one thing. Not being able to come back to a timeline. Like once you time travel, you can't go back to the original timeline because the original one does not include your time traveling at all. So be aware of that. If you want to keep shit fully authentic, fully original type shit, don't be fucking with time because you're not gonna be able to go back. You're gonna be in a parallel universe that's almost exactly the same but slightly different, which could be cool. But I just want to let you know that. And then, because it's not really a fuck up unless you want to return back to the shit. Like if you don't give a fuck about return, it's not a fuck up. But another fuck up, right, is getting stuck in time branches. So here's what I mean, right? I mentioned how there is one main timeline that tends to manifest, right? So let's. This is gonna sound fucked up, but let's say that inside this main timeline, right, you're meant to be down bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could be a person who is up as hell and then you become down bad, or someone who was just always down bad, or you was just doing chill and then you went down bad. Like there's different ways that you could go down bad, right? Now, if you don't accept the main timeline of you being down bad, you could observe a timeline where you're super duper up, right? But at some point it's gonna convert into the bad shit. So if you're obsessed with observing a certain reality that's not on the main timeline, you could get stuck inside that time branch type shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of now. Like I will say this, right? No one's. I can say like. So I'm trying to say no one's really meant to be down bad. And like, how do I put this shit right? The main universe, right, definitely always has the plan of evolution and growth. So essentially, if you're not evolving and growing, there's always gonna be things that happen to make you evolve and grow type shit, right? So you may observe certain timeline branches where you have amazing shit, but if you're not growing inside that shit, it's not gonna like be sustained. Like you may actually experience some of those timelines inside your physical life, because some shit you're only gonna be doing that shit inside of your head, and you just fucking on some, but nothing manifest. Some shit actually will manifest. You'll be living out a time branch, but at some point you'll lose it all, and then be forced to evolve again. So it's like if you're like the way you know if you're gonna be stuck in a timeline branch is simply by judging like, is this gonna help me evolve? Because if it's not gonna help you evolve, you're probably inside of a time branch that's gonna link back up to the whole evolution shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a thing too. Like if you keep on trying to observe a reality that's not a part of the main timeline, you could get stuck inside that timeline branch. Now, as humans, it's like the average human, you won't get stuck in a timeline branch like physically type shit. I mean, you kind of could. I mean, not. It's like getting trapped in cycles could kind of be seen like that a little bit. It's like you keep on repeating the same shit over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not like moving on to what's greater for you type shit. That's an example. But like when I when I say get stuck in a timeline branch, it's not gonna be on some shit like fucking like how can I put this? Like, you know how like niggas be like you ever watch a movie and niggas get lost in time and shit like that? It's not gonna be like that. It's more like you're lost inside that shit mentally. It's like you're stuck in this branch mentally. You know what I'm saying? But niggas who actually real life can't like, cause there's niggas who just fucking close their eyes and then just shift somewhere else real quick. You know what I'm saying? And then inhabit the vessel of their alternate reality, right? And if that shit's inside of a branch, it'll never link back up with this shit, and they actually can't get lost inside that branch. But most things is not that advanced. Most of the time, the branch is gonna be inside your shit mentally or through the cycles that you repeat inside of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes these cycles keep on repeating because it's like this branch that you need to like overcome to get back to the main highest timeline type shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Now let's talk about some motherfucking tips with speeding up time. I've noticed that. So you know how like when you're at work and you're like, bro, when is work gonna end? Type shit. What the fuck, right? Usually when you think like that, time goes by slower. You know what I'm saying? But that's because you're paying attention to how events are moving and stuff like that. Yeah, you're paying attention to how time's passing. You know what I'm saying? Especially because like especially when you're at work and you're like watching the clock type shit, that's really making time slow down a lot. But I've noticed that like let's say you're like walking to the store, right? 'Cause this is how I was using it, right? If you're walking to the store, right, you have more control over like how you move to get to the store type shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not at work and time's being dictated by the clock. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're at work, you're always gonna leave at like 6:30 type shit. You know what I'm saying? And you cannot control that, you know? But you can control your perception of it, but you can't control the actual like time of 6:30. You know what I'm saying? But when you're going to the store, right? You have more control over if you get there in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So something I've noticed, right, is that like if you focus on the end result, it actually does help to speed up time, especially if you're actually doing things while focusing on the event. Like while just sitting down, focusing on the event, you could actually still get there also if you kind of like feel, because you could like feel yourself like moving to that reality, right? So like what I would do is we're going to the store, right? Like while walking there, I'll imagine myself like walking up to the store type shit. And when I actually get to the store, it feels like I was like always there type shit. And then when I walk back home, I see myself already like being at home type shit. Then when I get home, I'm like, damn, nigga. Like, did I really walk to the store just now? Like, I swear to God, bro, that shit is real, bro. Like, it's like when you focus on the end result, you're kind of telling your mind, like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And it's like, even though you see all this, you clearly see that you're walking right now, but like, you hold the vision inside your mind that, no, I'm actually here. And your mind can, like, it can't always differentiate your imagination from reality type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times you get caught up inside your dreams type shit, you know what I'm saying? Think that shit actually real, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same with these mental images, right? So when you keep on seeing yourself actually already like obtaining like that shit in the future, it's like it makes it kind of come a bit faster type shit because you're telling your mind that you've been there the whole entire time, and it's like your brain will skip over the moments inside of your head when you weren't there to match the image that you've been holding of you being there type shit. It's really motherfucking interesting, bro. I ain't gonna motherfucking lie. So experiment with that shit. Or like, let's say like you're like getting, let's say like you're trying like, let's say like if it's me making a PowerPoint, right? I haven't even tried this with the PowerPoint yet. I'm going to now though. I could like see the PowerPoint already being done inside my mind type shit. And then when I finish that shit, I'm like, damn, nigga, did I even really work on this shit? I'm gonna do that for the PowerPoint now because I just thought about that shit. I haven't tried that one yet though. But let's talk about making fucking time pockets. So a time pocket is pretty much a pocket in space where time flows differently at, right? You can actually make time pockets. So let's say you're inside your room, right? And you want time to go by slower, right? You would like be inside your room and like use your thoughts to like create this space around you, right? You know what I'm saying? And then like you would use like your emotions and your will to kind of like create a sense of gravity and then bend the time and space around you. And then you'd actually like you'd want to actually like feel like when I let me see how this looks for y'all. So for me, the staff is going to the left, but for y'all, it's going to the right. But whenever I feel things coming to like the left type shit, it's like it's weird because different directions feel like times is going by faster or slower. Like usually when it's coming, so when it's coming down to the like this, like imagine this is my left though, right, not my right. When it comes over to my left, like this is kind of like time slowing down a bit, and then when it's kind of like going down towards like my right type shit, it's like it's speeding up. But like it could go like up towards my right too and change the effect and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you go just play with this for yourself, right? Just be inside your room and use your thoughts to create this like space, like in like your mind's eye, and then use your willpower and your emotion to make the gravity that actually bends the time and space, and just think about what it would feel like if time was more slowed down, and try to feel how time moves around you, type shit, right? Inside your space, right? Like if you're inside your room is going to literally like have time move by slower. Like if you just only focus on slowing down time type shit, you'll just slow down your perception of time, and whoever comes near you type shit might feel the effects also, right? Especially if your will's stronger than theirs. But when you actually like imagine like the pocket, like you just imagine your room and then how time moves inside of your room type shit, you make that pocket inside your room specifically, right? Like inside my room, time flows by differently, I swear to God. You know what I'm saying? And I change it up pretty often. So that's the thing I be doing. And then you can also make time bubbles, right? A time pocket kind of really is a time bubble, but when I say a time bubble, this is like one that you actually live inside of. So like a time pocket is just a bubble that you left inside of one point of space. You know what I'm saying? But when I say time bubble for real, I mean that like I should have did time bubbles then pockets first, really. But with a time bubble, right? You just imagine you do the same shit for like the whole time pocket shit, but you only imagine that shit around your body and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You imagine the whole bubble around you and stuff like that. And then you use your will and your emotion to actually bend the time and space around you. And then you actually like feel the flow and stuff like that. And then now you have your own bubble where time flows by differently than other people. And people who are inside your bubble will feel the effects, especially if your will is super strong. Like if they are on some shit like, oh no, nigga, fuck that slow down time shit. I want to speed that bitch up again. And their will is very strong, then it's like you won't have as much of an effect. But most niggas just be unconscious like shit. So it's like when they walk inside your space, they'll be affected. But some niggas, by the way, even if they're unconscious, it's like inside themselves, they'll naturally like kind of have a sped up perception type shit. So if they're naturally like that and they naturally have a strong will, they will affect your time bubble and time pocket. So it's like if you make a time pocket in a particular place, it can get disrupted if people come inside that space who are naturally on some like sped up shit. Or if your time pocket is sped up and they're on some slow nigga shit, they'll slow your shit down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but if you're aware of the person being inside your space, you can always just re-update your time pocket. And with your time bubble and shit like that, since the bubble's already around you, you'll feel if somebody's making you perceive time faster or slower. Like you could be around people and kind of feel how their sense of time works type shit. Like time's actually really fucking interesting, bro. Time is a whole dimension that you can manipulate. You can manipulate because a dimension, right? It's not a place. A dimension, by Google definition, is a measurable extent. It's something that you can measure. It's a measurement that takes place within inside the Omniverse. You know what I'm saying? Like length, width, and height, those are dimensions. Time, space, and light, those are dimensions. You could literally measure all of those. You know what I'm saying? And time is a whole dimension that you can literally control. Like time is a dimension that literally structures life. And controlling time, when you do that shit, you literally control the whole fucking structure of reality type shit and how events flow in reality. You know what I'm saying? Which you gotta be careful when you do shit like that. Because you could create a lot of fuck ups and you start making these void spaces. You're gonna see when I talk about the fucking paradox shit and the fucking frog shit on my paradox. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. You know what I'm saying? And with the end of time and shit too, that's gonna be a dope ass. Just stay tuned for my shit. I got a lot of shit coming, bro. I've been learning a whole, like, I've been learning so much shit about just the Omniverse and how it's structured and stuff like that. And it's so much shit coming, bro. So just stay tuned, you know. But That's pretty much all I want. That's all I wanted to touch on inside this video. So with that being said, it has been your boy Dot from Dot Me Not Coaching and Entertainment. I do have coaching links down below. I do have timeline surfing, healing, and activation down below. This is a time video, so I mean, hey, if y'all niggas fucking with that, you know I got you. You know what I'm saying? Patreon down below, Discord down below, social medias down below. Hey, on social media, I actually did mention the frog shit a little bit. So Instagram be getting a little bit, they be getting little exclusives on my story. You know what I'm saying? So check that out if y'all niggas want a little bit of that exclusive sauce. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love you all. I'm gonna catch you in my next video. Peace.